Hello, good morning. Good, so today's class is all themed around the topic of connection, which is maybe a little bit more tricky since we are in a digital space and coming from all parts of Germany, all parts of Europe, or maybe all parts of the world today, but we'll make it work. So let's start with a little bit of breath work. So just come into a comfortable seat for today's class. I don't think you will need any props. If you like to practice with blocks, if you like to practice with a strap, of course, you're always welcome to do that. I highly recommend using props if you have them. And then just find a comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged. You can sit in any other position that feels good. Maybe you want to play some music too. I think I shared my playlist last week. I'm happy to still do that. Okay. So find a comfortable seat, maybe rolling out the shoulders, rolling out the neck, doing anything that helps you arrive here this morning on your mat. And then, of course, if you're in cross-legged, sometimes it's nice to get a little bit of elevation underneath the sits bones just to lift your pelvis a little bit higher than the knees, which is going to make it more comfortable. All right, let's start with just a few breaths while we move our body. So on the inhale, reach your arms back, really opening them wide, almost in a cactus shape, but reaching the arms just a little bit further back so you open your heart space. And on the exhale, you're going to cross your arms and just notice which one goes on top. And then you can hug yourself, bringing the hands just down on the shoulder blades, tucking the chin into the chest. A big hug to yourself. And then on the next inhale, you want to open again. And on the exhale, crossing the arms, this time the other one first. And again, rounding the spine, feeling that connection to yourself. Big breath in, again, open. And just repeating that a couple times in your own breath. If the breath is still a bit short this morning, don't worry about that. So we're beginning here to just tune into the breath. And as well, developing that touch and that connection to yourself. Just one more each side, so always alternating the front arm. One more big breath in, open the heart space, lean slightly forward. And on the exhale, rounding the spine. And then inhale again, open the arms wide. And on the exhale, bring one hand on your heart and one hand on your lower back. And then close your eyes if you feel comfortable and safe in the space that you're at. Relax the shoulders down. And just take a couple of deep breaths here, arriving in your body, on the mat, in the day. Feeling your body gently move with every inhale as you rise. And feeling your body soften all the way when you exhale. And then for those of you that joined a little bit later today, the topic of today's class is themed around connection. So as a prompt for today's class, you can just ask yourself, with who or with what do I want to establish a deeper connection? And that can be, first and foremost, of course, yourself. And that's a little bit what we're going to focus on today. The better the connection we have towards ourselves, the better connections we can cultivate with others. But it could also be a person in your life, And it could also be something like nature. And so tuning in towards that as well, feeling the groundedness of your body and the earth underneath you that holds you in this safe place here. And take 3 more deep breaths. If it's a little bit uncomfortable with one hand on your lower back, you can also bring both hands towards your front side of the body. Or just relax the hands down for the last couple of breaths here. Maybe growing it just a tiny bit bigger with every inhale, and especially with the exhale. So the longer the exhale, the more space you cultivate for new, fresh energy and air to arrive. Good, and then keep your eyes closed. On the next inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Make a big, big circle around you. Bringing the palms together overhead, and on the exhale, bringing the hands towards your heart center in Anjali Mudra. Thumbs can touch your chest, and then gently lift down the gaze, bringing chin to chest. And with blinking eyes, you return back to the room, to the space around you, lifting the head again, chin parallel towards the floor, and then just cultivate a little bit more energy by rubbing your palms together. And then placing those warm hands on towards your face, your closed eyes. And then massaging your face, maybe your neck, maybe any other part in your body that needs a little bit more energy or attention from you today. Good, and then from here we're going to move into Thunderbolt pose or Hero's pose variation by sitting on your knees. And just make sure that your knees are going to be comfortable. You can always flip the mat. I don't know if you can see that. So you just like roll it. So you have double cushioning, or actually triple cushioning underneath your knees. Maybe rolling out the shoulders again. And then also from here, big breath in, reaching the arms high and tall. And on the exhale, hands towards heart center. One more time, big breath in, reaching the arms tall. Hopefully you have that space. Exhale, hands to heart center. And on the next one, again, inhale, reaching the arms tall, reaching up towards the sky. And on the exhale, bringing the hands behind your back, and you want to grab your opposite elbows. Rolling the shoulders back, and just feeling that touch and that connection here of yourself. Feeling the gentle lift of the chest and the heart space, the touch of your skin, maybe closing the eyes again. And then you can try to gently pull your elbows a little bit further down, just seeing how that changes the position that you take. Strong upper body, proud chest. External rotation of the shoulders. One more big breath here. Good, and then gently release the hands behind your back. Roll out your wrists just a little bit. And stretching the hands, rolling the thumb. Anything that feels good right now that's going to help your wrists to warm up. You can also interlace your hands and make a tiny circle. Or draw eights. Good, and then when you're ready, come forward into tabletop position, placing the hands underneath your shoulders, opening the knees just on hip width distance level, and then tuck your toes just to give a little bit of a stretch towards your ankles as well. We're in straight tabletop position. Let's do a couple of rounds of cat and cow, warming up the spine. Inhale as you drop the belly, roll the shoulders back, lift the gaze. And on the exhale, around your spine, chin to chest. And just flowing here again in your own breath. Warming up the upper body. And then as always, if you want to make the movement just a little bit bigger, feel free to do that. Going into this wavy movement, or maybe shaking out the hips, rolling from left to right. Anything that feels good, and that just allows you to create just a tiny bit more space in your body. Just one more. All right, good. And then come back into the tabletop position, keeping the toes tucked, and you're just going to walk your hands out a little bit further away from you. So maybe towards the top of the mat. Take a big breath in here, and on the exhale, allow your forehead and your heart to drop down in towards the earth. Maybe the forehead touches the mat. For puppy pose or anahatasana, it's a heart opening. It's going to open your shoulders, your chest. And just with every exhale, feel the melt down in towards the mat. Again, that sense of grounding. And one more big breath in. And one more big breath out. And then from here, gently circle your right arm underneath the left, coming into a gentle twist. Bringing the right temple down on the mat. You can keep the left arm just straight ahead. You can come on your fingertips to open your shoulder just a little bit more. Or if you feel like you have that balance on your knees, you can also lift your left arm up. Or find a bind, which is something that we're going to explore a bit more later. Again, by feeling that touch and that connection towards yourself. So you bring the left arm crossed over your lower back and into your right hip crease. Wherever you are, take 2 more deep breaths in and out. And gently, whenever you're ready, after your next exhale, you change sides by bringing the right hand forward again. Crawling the left arm underneath the right, bringing the left temple down, and again finding a position with the upper arm, so with the right arm that feels good for you today. So maybe just coming on the fingertips, or again exploring that bind. Sometimes it's a bit shaky in this position with the hips stacked over the knees. So find something that makes you feel good and doesn't stress you out. 2 big breaths here as well. Good, and then also here after your next exhale, bring both of the hands forward again, gaze in between your hands, and then just bring your body down on towards the belly. And so maybe scooting just slightly more back with the hips at this point, untucking the toes, bringing the legs maybe a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, and then you can allow your forehead to drop on the mat, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and the elbows tucked in towards your chest. Next inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift your chest gently up, keeping the chin tucked in for low cobra. And on the exhale, bring the forehead back down on towards the ground. 2 more times like this. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift your chest. It's just a tiny lift. As always, you're working from your lower back and not from the hands. And with exhale, try to make extra length of your spine by bringing the forehead down on the mat. Last one, big breath in. Exhale. All the way down. And then if your feet were a little bit wider than hip width, bring them together again. Tuck your toes. And then push yourself back first in towards a child's pose. So drawing your glutes down towards your heels, finding that length through the spine. The forehead doesn't have to touch the mat. Maybe, again, coming on towards the fingertips, maybe finding a little sway. And feel the breath in the sides of your body expanding your rib cage. Big breath in. Extra long breath out. And plant the palms fully down on the mat again. Gaze forward between your hands. Roll up. And then lift your knees. And then push your glutes down towards your heels and up to the sky for your first downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders out. And then begin to paddle your feet and just finding tiny movements here. And so finding that connection between the breath and the movement. And finding that connection from your mind towards your body. In the way that you become more aware of what feels good, what serves you today. Shake out the head from left to right, forward and back. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. And then gaze forward between your hands and gently walk yourself up towards the top of your mat, making the feet just slightly bigger than hip width distance again, so you can sway it out. Also here, possibly bending one knee more than the other, keeping the head fully drop down. You can also interlace the hands behind your head, just to allow your neck to relax. And then again, also here, if you want, you can grab opposite elbows, feeling the touch of your own skin, that connection. One more big breath in. And then the next exhale, open mouth. Good, release the hands down on the mat. Bring the feet hip width distance together again. Keep the bend in the knees and just very gently roll yourself up, keeping the chin tucked into the chest, vertebra by vertebra. Rolling yourself up all the way. Rolling the shoulders back, the head follows less. Arrive in standing, and then once you're here, big breath in again, big circle, big breath. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a big breath in. And on the exhale, relax and soften your body. Good. We're going to do 3 sun salutations just to warm up the body a little bit. So you can move in your own pace. Obviously, I'm going to cue and do it with you, but feel free to move at a faster or slower pace. Again, finding what serves yourself today. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, possibly interlacing the thumbs as you reach slightly back, pushing the hips forward, squeezing the glutes. On the exhale, palms together, hinge from the hips, flow down all the way. Big breath in, half lift. Exhale, fold. Stepping it back into plank. Big breath in. On the exhale, find your way down, possibly starting with knees, chest, and chin. And then on the inhale, rolling forward, coming into low cobra, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe up dog already. And then on the exhale, tucking the toes, find yourself back into downward facing dog. Stay here for 3 breaths. And feeling every nuance of this shape in your body, in your breath. And then bend the knees, gaze forward, tippy toe, or 2 big steps back towards the top of the mat. Big breath in, push your chest forward, shoulders far away from the ears. Exhale to bow and fold, bend the knees. Then inhale, keeping the knees bent, the glutes engage as you rise. Big breath in as the arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Big breath in. Long breath out. Second round. Inhale, reach the arms tall. And exhale, flow down, hinge from the hips, drop the head. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folds. Step it back into plank. Big breath in as you find space between yourself and the mat. On the exhale, find your way down, possibly now dropping the knees, pushing the chest slightly forward, lowering halfway down. Inhale to roll up the chest, roll the shoulders back, feel the lift up to the sky through the crown of your head. And then exhale, back downward facing dog, and you can always take the option to go through child's pose first. Big breath. Of course, there's no need to be super still in this position, although there's a lot of power in stillness. But if you want to paddle out your feet, feel free to do that. And one more breath here. And then again, find the way towards the top of the mat in your variation. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale for your fold. And then inhale to rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath in. And big breath out. All right, last round. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Slightly leaning back if that feels good. And on the exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Adha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, step it back. Or maybe if you hop straight into Chaturanga arms. Otherwise, inhale in plank. Exhale your way down. Inhale to find a lift of your heart. Again, squeeze the glutes and find the lift up to the sky further, rather than going all the way back. On the exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Good, and then come on towards all fours. So coming back into tabletop position. Take your time to arrive here, bringing the palms underneath your shoulders. And then extend your right leg out. And you can keep the foot engaged. And just make sure that your hips are still on one level, so you don't want to over-exaggerate by bringing the leg super high. If you want, reaching the left arm with you, a couple of crunches here. So on the inhale, finding that length. And on the exhale, bringing the knee towards the chest or the nose, rounding the spine, maybe to elbow. Inhale, rise. Still keeping the hips on the level. And exhale, round. One more. And then kick the right leg out again on the inhale. Now bring both hands, palms underneath your shoulders. Big breath in here. On the exhale, let's do Chaturanga arms. So you're going to push your chest slightly more forward, bend the elbows, and just lowering halfway down. And then inhale, push yourself back up. 2 more. Good, warming up the arms, placing the right foot behind your left foot and coming on the outer edge of the foot. And then kicking the left leg out behind you. So you have more stability. You're going to open yourself with the right arm up towards the side of the mat. Finding that length here, big breath in, long breath out. Next inhale, rising up, arms on shoulder height, right leg is extended out. And on the exhale, reaching the right hand behind your lower back and the left arm overhead. So again here, finding that bind and that connection to yourself. Stay here. Rolling the shoulders back, one more big breath. And then gently release. Come down. You can keep the right hand behind your lower back or release it. See what works. Placing the left hand back under your shoulder and then lifting the right foot off the mat. So again, we're parallel towards the mat, almost like a half moon shape. And then bend the knee, so you squeeze your heel in towards your glutes and then grab your foot. So the shape of your palm is perfectly sized to fit your foot. And then you can push just gently with the hand into the foot, rolling the right shoulder back and feeling that glute stretch, not glute, quad stretch. Opening the heart space. Finding balance, feeling the touch of your own skin again. And then gaze forward towards the top of your mat and gently guide your right foot forward. Between your hands, the back leg kicks back again towards the short waist of the mat. So you're in low lunge. And then on the inhale, come up, rise up, arms reach up and overhead. And on the exhale, bring the palms down in front of your heart space. Drop the hips low. And again, make sure that your knee is fine. Go ahead, take a big breath in here. On the exhale, roll the shoulders back. Next inhale, you're going to lean your chest slightly forward. And on the exhale, finding a gentle twist by bringing the left elbow on towards the right. Good. Stacking the elbows and finding a variation here that works for you today. Stay here. Feeling the breath again, flowing through the shape that your body is taking right now. One more big breath. Good, and then the next inhale brings your palms back towards your heart space. Inhale, make a big circle with the arms all the way back and up. And on the exhale again, bring the hands behind your lower back and either, again, grabbing your opposite elbows or going into Anjali Mudra behind your back. So bringing the palms of your hands together and finding that opening of the chest either way. So make sure that you roll back your shoulders. You gently push your heart space just a little bit more up while you allow your hips to drop down to the earth. Stay here, big breath. Just feeling into that shape here. All right, next inhale, release the arms. Make one more time a big circle all the way up, finding length through the rib cage. And on the exhale, hands plant down on the mat. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then gently push yourself, your hips back. Coming into this pyramid shape, so you might want to make the stance just a little bit shorter. You can keep the front knee just slightly bent. Maybe just finding a half lift by bringing the hands in towards the hips. So the hips want to point all the way forward. And we're targeting the right hamstring and the right glute muscle with this stretch. One more big breath in. And a big breath out as you bow down. Good. Bend in towards your front knee, plant the palms down, and then step the right foot back into down dog. Paddle out the feet, shake out the head, and just realize how this might have already changed the perception of your right side body. Going through a vinyasa that's always optional. If you want, inhale for plank. Exhale your way down. Inhale for a slight lift. And then exhale, either a child's pose or maybe a down dog. Again, 3 breaths. In whatever position you choose. Reconnecting to the breath, to yourself. And whatever else that you want to cultivate more connection to. All right, if you were in down dog, bring the knees down on the mat. We come back into tabletop position. If you were in child's pose, just roll yourself back up. Good, let's do this on the other side. So inhale, extending the left leg out. Big breath in, finding the length and the reach all the way back. On the exhale, round, knee to nose, or maybe opposite elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. One more. Good, and then inhale as you lift the left leg out again, keeping the foot engaged, the hands under your shoulders. Inhale as you lean slightly forward, exhale, lower halfway down for these chaturanga arms. And then exhale, push back up. 2 more, you got it. Inhale all the way down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Good, plant the left foot on the outer edge or on the short edge of the mat, like lifting the foot and then kicking the right foot out. As you open yourself towards the side, left arm reaches high. So think about there's a wall behind you and you're just leaning against it as you open your body to the side. Good, big breath in. A long breath out. And then next inhale, pull yourself up. Come with the arms on shoulder height. On the exhale again, right arm reaches up and overhead and the left arm makes like a half circle behind your back. You can grab maybe your hip crease or maybe just the hip. And then think about your fingertips want to pull you further to the side. Really opening your rib cage here, allowing for deeper breath to flow. One more inhale. One more exhale. Good, and then bring the right hand back down on the mat, underneath the shoulder. Lift the left foot again, and then draw the heel towards your bum by grabbing your back foot. If that's a little bit tricky today, you can always find an option by just bringing the hand in the hip. If you're here, make that arch. Open your heart. Stay here, wherever you are. And instead of drifting off with our thoughts to whatever lies in the future or in the past, let's stay present right here. Feeling the stretch, feeling the breath. Good, and then gently guide your front foot towards the top of the mat. Back foot kicks back in. Again, make sure your knee is fine. You arrive in Anjaneyasana, lunge. Inhale, reach the arms over the side. Big breath. Exhale, guiding the hands towards your heart space. Drop the hips low. Take a big breath in as you find lift through the crown of the head. On the exhale, lean forward and then find your twist again. So stacking the right arm over your left leg. Continuing to allow the hips to drop. And just taking 2 more breaths here. Good, next inhale, guide yourself back. Lift the chest again, hands in front of your heart space. Big breath in, again, arms reach up. Big circle. Exhale, again, finding the bind behind your back. So either grabbing your opposite elbows, leaning yourself slightly back, rolling the shoulders back. Or again, Anjaneyasana. I forgot the name. You know what we're doing. Palms together, rolling the shoulders back. Lifting the heart space and the hips drop down. Just one more breath wherever you are. Good, and then plant the hands down on the mat, ground them down, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Again, if you want to hop the foot just a little bit further forward, that's perfectly fine. And then on your exhale, shift your hips back. If you have blocks, this is a good opportunity to use them. You can also bring the hands in towards your hips and feel free to just slightly bend the knee so you're not overstretching that knee. If you can bow gently down. 2 breaths. And then the next inhale again, bends your front knee, plant the palms down so you can step back into downward facing dog. And again, find a variation for you that works today. So maybe taking a gentle break, maybe going through a vinyasa in your own pace. You can guide yourself down into child's pose, or maybe even coming up into hero's pose, because sometimes all the forward folding isn't too great in our system. So find what works and relax just for 2 more breaths. And then we have one more one more flow to go. So maybe coming back through down dog, maybe coming back through tabletop position. Either way, you want to bring your right foot forward so you can swing it through down dog or just through tabletop position, and then you can lift your back knee off the mat so the hips are pointing forward and the right knee is bent, just stacked over your ankle. And then as we did on the ground, inhale, arms reach up and tall. You can actually straighten your front leg by circling the arms up and overhead, and then on the exhale, finding the palms in front of your heart again. Good, then bring the right hand in towards your hip. Shoot the left arm up towards the sky. Big breath in, finding that lift all the way through the belly. And on the exhale, you want to shake someone's hand that's on the right side of your mat. So just coming through here, gliding, good. Inhale, come back up. Finding the lift again. Exhale, making that kind of cut here. Just one more. Inhale, up. And exhale here. And then also here, you can find the twist just one level higher, just for a breath. And then gently guide your hands back down on the outer edge of your right foot. Now this might be a little bit tricky, so we want to arrive with the left leg underneath the right. So you want to scoot and bend your back leg. So eventually you arrive in this twisted seat. Maybe it's going to take 1 or 2 rounds to arrive there. But the left leg is bent towards your back and the right foot is stacked on top. Good. Then bring your left hand around your leg. So you're really hugging that knee in towards your chest. Again, feeling that deep connection to yourself. Try to bring both of the sit bones down on the mat. And then the right hand comes behind you. You can come on your fingertips and just find a gentle twist here. So that's a big stretch of your right glute. And just another gentle twist. Squeezing out whatever or what no longer serves you. One more big breath here. Always feel free to sigh out with an open mouth if you're in a deeper stretch. And then finding the opposite stretch just for a moment. So bringing the right hand on towards your right shin bone and just twisting yourself over to the other side. Good, then from here, funky transition. You're going to bring yourself back up and then turn yourself over your left shoulder so you arrive in a wide-legged forward fold. Going to turn around. So the feet you can also open them just a little bit wider. The toes are slightly turned in. Drop the head down to find your forward fold and then bring both of the hands towards your left leg and just try to bring your chest down towards your left leg. If there's a big space still, don't worry about it, but you want to squeeze your upper body down towards the leg. Trying to give yourself a hug, massaging your ankle, maybe your thigh. And then gently change sides by swinging over towards the other leg. Inhale, and with the exhale, allowing the chest to drop, hugging the leg in. Breathe deeply. Good, and then come back in towards the center in your wide-legged forward fold. Gently bend the knees. Bring the hands into the hips as you find like a half lift, so chest parallel towards the ground. And then with the inhale, rising all the way up. Good, turn your toes slightly outwards. Big breath in as you reach the arms tall into the star pose. And on the exhale, finding goddess pose, so bending the knees while you really think about it. Somebody just puts a weight on the top of your head as you slide yourself down. So you're not bringing your butt out to the back. You're just sliding down and then opening the arms into this cactus shape. A little ballet movement here. Big breath in. On the exhale, reaching the right arm overhead and the left arm on your lower back. So familiar shape for the upper body as we did earlier. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. So again, finding these side openings, just one more each side, working into your quads. Inhale and exhale. Good, inhale, come back, straighten your legs, reach the arms tall. Exhale, hands to heart. And then your back foot, the toes are pointing towards the long waist of the mat. Front foot turns out to the side, maybe making the stance a bit wider. Arms reach up and overhead, big breath in. Exhale, bend in towards your front knee, open the arms, warrior two. Good, gaze over the front hand, big breath in. Long breath out. And then just one more time, the right hand is going to come on towards your lower back, grabbing that hip crease. Flip your palm, inhale as somebody pulls you forward. And on the exhale, as you reach back. Reverse warrior with a bind. Big breath. Good, and then coming forward in towards your side angle pose. So either just bringing the left arm on towards your leg, or if you want, you can grab with the left arm underneath the thigh and possibly grabbing your back hand, coming into the bind. That's a little bit tricky, and the point of the bind is that we open our chest more to the side. So if you feel yourself collapsing towards the mat, just maybe release it and find the right arm just reaching up. So that both works, whether you can grab your arms or not. And again, we're working into the leg. And then I'm going to release you here. So circling the right arm down, pivoting on the back foot, stepping it back into your down dog. If you want, sweep the right and left leg up towards the sky. And then you can bring the left foot next to the right, flipping the down dog, both feet next to each other, and then just lifting the chest. Everything optional. And then you can come back if you want more energy, go through Vinyasa. Otherwise, maybe just staying in down dog. Or again, finding a resting pose. We are here for 3 breaths. Good. On your next inhale, bring your left foot forward. Again, you can always come through tabletop and then just begin to lift your knee once you're here. Stacking the left knee over the left ankle. Inhale as you rise, big circle, straightening the front leg. Exhale, hands to heart center, bending the front knee. Hips are pointing forward, back heel is lifted. Left hand into the hip. Inhale again as you rise, reaching the arms super tall. And then again, finding the connection to someone next to you, besides of you, to sweep the arm down. Finding that twist and opening off your upper body. Good, inhale, find length. Exhale, one more time. Oops, finding the balance also. One more. Inhale, length. And then exhale here, clapping the palm further towards your chest, stacking the hands on top, dropping the hips down, twist, one more breath. And then again, bringing the hands down, bending further into your front knee, and then scooting the back foot, the back knee down to arrive into this twist on the other side. Pull your right knee in towards your chest and the left hand behind you. Find the twist. And you should feel a big sensation in your left glute. One more breath. Really hugging that knee in towards the chest. A gentle touch of yourself. And then on the next breath, find the twist just to the opposite side for a moment. And then prepare yourself to get back up, to turn yourself over your right shoulder. Open again into this wide-legged forward fold. Again, I'm going to turn myself around. So maybe you're facing all different sides of the mat today. Perspective change, drop the head. And just finding this gentle forward fold if you want. You can also grab your ankles by pulling yourself just a little bit more down. And then again here, bend your knees, bring the hands in towards your hips, find a half lift. And then guide yourself all the way back up. Good. Now changing sides, since I've traveled around all the way up the mat, just make sure that you're going on the other side now in your warrior pose. So again, that front foot is turning towards the short ways of the mat and the back foot is turning to the long ways of the mat. Your heels are in one line, maybe making the stance slightly wider. Inhale, big breath in, reaching the arms tall. And then exhale, bending into the front knee and opening into warrior two. Gaze over the front finger. Feel the opening of your hips. Big breath in. Long breath out. Relax the shoulders. Good. Flip your palm. Back hand reaches onto your lower back. So grabbing again, maybe that hip crease. Maybe you're just on your lower back. Find something that works for you. Inhale, somebody pulls you forward. Shaking the hand, the connection. And then exhale. Reaching all the way back. Stay here, big breath. One more. And then also from here, keeping the bend in the front knee, finding your side angle pose, maybe just bringing the right arm on towards your chest and then swinging the left arm up. Again, finding that opening of the chest towards the back. Or if you want, again, exploring that bind. And again, finding that opening of the chest to the side. So if you find your shoulders here, open more towards the side, or just find another version of your side angle. One more breath. This really works into the front leg. I feel it too. And then open everything. Circle back down. Pivot the back foot towards the front waist again. Swing the right foot or the front foot back wherever you side you were on. Again, if you want to flip the dog, you open your hip in three-legged dog. Drop the foot behind you, almost like you wanted to go to wild thing. But then you bring your feet just together and just swing your arm up and overhead. Everything optional, maybe returning back to regular down dog. One more vinyasa if you want. And then we're all going to find child's pose. This time find child's pose with the knees wider open. So further open than the hips, maybe mat width distance. And just melting yourself down into the mat. And again here, maybe bringing the hands on towards your lower back. So you can give yourself a little bit of a yoga assist just by drawing your lower back further down to the mat. And then eventually just relax your shoulders, relax your arms, And your hands can gently hold your feet. Maybe rolling on the forehead from left to right, massaging the neck. Your body's really down, grounded towards the earth, in connection to yourself. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. And then gently roll yourself up. Take your time. And then find your butt down on the mat. So however that might work, we're going to stay with the knees wide, coming into butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of the feet together. And then your hands are going to grab your toes, grab your feet, and you can just begin to massage your feet a little bit. Again, giving yourself that gentle touch. Cultivating that deep appreciation and love that you have for yourself. For this awesome body that holds you and allows you to move in all different directions. And then whenever you're ready, if you want, you either find a little bit more of an active butterfly by swinging the legs, the knees, up and down. Or you find a little bit of a forward fold, maybe bringing the elbows down on the shins, maybe in front of the shins, maybe opening the feet. No force applied. This can be a gentle stretch. Trying to keep the lift through the chest so you also elongate your lower back. So whenever we hunch in our chest, we round the lower back, but we want to find a little bit more of a lengthening situation. In the forward folds. And take one more big breath in. And one more big breath out. And then gently relax, release everything, grab with the hands on the outer edges of your legs to bring the knees together. And then either you find Shavasana, which I always recommend, or you find an upright position. For this final meditation, you can actually also go just into supine butterfly by bringing the soles of the feet together again. A wonderful place to also hold connection to yourself one more time. Or swing the legs out. Place a hand somewhere on your body where it feels good right now. And just allow your whole body to relax. And just guiding yourself through a tiny little meditation. So maybe that's in Shavasana, maybe that's in an upright seat. I leave it up to you, but again, my recommendation always goes to finding Shavasana so you allow your body to fully relax all the muscles. And then again here, just tuning in towards the breath, feeling it in the chest, in the belly, and maybe also on your upper lip. Relaxing the shoulders down, softening the face. Feeling the breath moving in your body. And that union, that yoga that you created here of the breath and the body and the mind. Greeting yourself with a big amount of gratitude for taking the time to move your body and to establish a deeper connection towards yourself. Feeling yourself grounded down to the earth, the connection that you have with nature, undeniably, as a human being in this world. And maybe thinking about one other connection towards a friend or a loved one, and how much you can cultivate that by bringing the connection that you have towards yourself to the table. You may remain in Shavasana for a little bit longer, or you may find your way back up in towards a seat. I don't want the meeting to cut us off here. If you are in an upright seat, and even if you are in Shavasana, really make sure that you, one more time, place the palms on towards your belly or heart space, or just your frontal body. Maybe even grabbing your shoulders, your arms, almost like hugging yourself. Feeling the warmth of this connection. And place the hands in front of your heart. Again, you may remain in Shavasana. I don't want to kick you out. Big breath in, lifting the crown of the head. Big breath out as you bow down. And thank you so much for practicing with me today, for trusting me, my voice. And thank yourself. And also thank each other for sharing this practice together, even though we're in a digital place. I wish you a wonderful day.